Good evening, everyone. My name is Gordon Dragoon, and I'm the chair of the Walk Bike Council. The intention of this event is to have a conversation with all of you as we imagine that the amalgam of all of the ideas here can help us create a safer and more usable walking and biking infrastructure in the town. I want to say that I'm thankful for all of you, the city staff, residents, councilors, in the Walk Bike Coordinating Committee. All of us are here because in one way or another we understand that the usability and safety of active transportation is a key part in making our city a great place to live. I'm sure that safety in particular is on the forefront of everyone's minds right now with the tragedy that happened at the intersection of Locust and Pine, not 500 feet that way. There will be a specific station for that where folks will be able to hear about a memorial fund that has been set up by the family. And we will give some information on a ghost bike installation that is happening next Wednesday with a little critical mass ride that will be happening before that. But there'll be some more details at that station. There's a temptation in these circumstances to look at how other cities have found success. But it's important to recognize that these cities can serve as an inspiration and help us strategize. But each city's pathway is going to be different in finding success. What ultimately determines the success of these programs is the support and the vision of the people that are willing to show up and help. I want you all to envision a Burlington that doubles its rate of walking and biking, that has 0 traffic fatalities, even as it probably continues to grow. What does that city look like? What changes does the city need to make? Over the next hour, we'll have 5 stations situated around the room and in the hallway. All of these stations are meant to be conversational. We want to get what your vision is, what you think that the city can change, concrete things, especially focusing on your district. The first is going to be an overview of what the planned projects are in your district. That will be that table right here. And the second is a map where participants are able to draw how they tend to navigate around their district. We can have a conversation on, okay, you go to the grocery store pretty frequently, but you drive. What are the barriers what are the barriers for you walking or biking and making it to this, it's awesome. making this a more active transportation focused city? The third is a street mapping exercise where you'll be able to design the major corridors in the region, figure out how we can fit better walking, biking infrastructure, how we can fit better parks, parklets. The fourth is going to be a conversation with me on what the Walk Bike Council is and how we can better advocate for all of you. I'll remind you all, we are an advisory committee. We don't have much real power, but we can advocate however we can. The fifth is going to be a place for us to discuss the recent tragedy at Locust and Pine. And I have heard that we actually have a 6th station where we can talk about transit in your district and talk about the stops and what we can do to improve those locations. The last 10 to 15 minutes, we'll invite residents and potentially councilors to give their impression on walking and biking in the city and to give their vision and just have a conversation amongst all of us. That's about all I have for you. And Philip will take it from here. Thank you.
Philip Peterson, Senior Transportation Engineer and Planner with the City of Burlington. And I just had a conversation with my boss, Chapin Spencer, the Director of Public Works. I haven't slept for the past 2 days. I just haven't, because I've been thinking about this a lot. Our job as Public Works, City of Burlington staff, engineers and planners is to protect the public and keep you safe. That's our job. I don't know if we did that. I don't know what the truth is. I don't know yet. The police department hasn't shared they haven't shared their report with us yet. But I can tell you this much, that we take our job very seriously and we will respond appropriately. And we will respond appropriately based on data and based on information. And that's what we do. That's what we do as engineers and planners. But maybe we could take just 10 seconds. 10 seconds of silence to reflect on what occurred less than a month ago. I'll watch the time. whatever it is that you're thinking, just know that we have plans in place and that we are moving forward with plans and that we're not sitting on our hands. I would invite my director, my boss, to say anything before I get into my presentation.
Philip, I'm really pleased to see everybody here. Your creative vision and your guidance will help inform the plans. We are in the midst of Plan BTV 2050, the city's long-term mobility planning, and your contributions tonight are going to help inform the future work. So thank you for being here.
Okay, so let's get into it. Had a meeting with the Walk By Council last week, and we as city staff met with folks from Locomotion and Walk By Council, and we discussed how do we handle this meeting moving forward, this particular meeting. It was, something we talked to city council about several months ago with a certain amount of motivation and enthusiasm that we were going to do district meetings. We meet 12 times a year, Walk By Council once a month, first Wednesday of every month. It's usually a group of very motivated, very kind, and excellent people, and it's 10 people usually, sometimes less. And when we met with city council, South End city councilors were extremely motivated to have this meeting happen in their district first, not knowing what would occur. So let's talk a little bit about things that we've done. Plan BTV Walk By is in progress. We have made a lot of progress since 2016. We have installed almost 20 miles of bikeway projects in the city of Burlington. And in the past year alone, we've done almost 2 miles of bikeway projects in the South End. There are a lot of sidewalk projects that we're interested in. We're also interested in doing possibly Shelburne Street scoping study for the entire corridor now that Champlain Parkway is open. We're also interested in doing a South End sidewalk scoping study because there are several streets in the South End that don't have sidewalks at all. I think of Hillcrest, others that just don't have sidewalks. Burlington's pretty good, but we do need sidewalks. We do collect data on crashes in the city of Burlington. Since 2010, we've had 12 fatalities in the city of Burlington on our transportation network. 1 pedestrian, 1 recently was a bike fatality. The other 10 were vehicle fatalities. So what are we doing tonight? Well, you're not going to sit here and listen to me. We want to listen to you. And as Gordon had already mentioned, we have several stations where we're going to engage and have conversations around our planning work. Our planning work does involve Plan BTV 2050. It does also involve Plan BTV Walk Bike. And that's pretty much it. I don't have other things to say. I want to hear from you. Chapin and I have also committed to staying after the meeting. The meeting ends at 7 o'clock, but we will stay as long as folks want to ask questions and give us their commentary about how they feel. So, okay.
Thanks, Phil. I will jump in just to say that we will need to get up and walk around. These stations are going to be based on people coming to the table, putting down their experiences onto the map, how they get around the city, how they want to be able to get around the city, and why they can't do that right now. Of course, feel free to break out into conversations with city staff. There are a bunch of them throughout the room, and of course with each other. I should introduce myself. I'm Jack from Locomotion. I'm also a South End resident. I live up on the south end of South Union. And I was excited that we were able to do this type of event when we initially proposed it months ago. Because transportation isn't street by street and it isn't city by city. It's block by block and it's a neighborhood system. And so the solutions to solving traffic violence and road safety and even just comfort, if there's enough shade for somebody to healthily make a walk to the grocery store or not, is a main barrier. Those are all solutions that need to be considered at the city level, but they need to be driven at the neighborhood level, and that is what this meeting is here to do. And so I invite everyone to bring that spirit into this as we look at these different stations, talk with city staff and with each other about what we can actually do in a mile radius of this building right here to make our lives better for the future. So thank you, and get up, and let's get into this. Okay. Green is good, gray is something, and blue is something that is currently in this book, in the 2050 version, or the 2025 version. And so we really want to know of these blue projects, these projects that are not funded yet, not shovel ready.
Yeah, hi, it's Philip Peterson, Senior Transportation Engineer and Planner with the City of Burlington Department of Public Works. I think the turnout is good. Normally, when we have the Burlington Walk Bike Council as a monthly meeting, we meet every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. here at Public Works. And normally we have a pretty small group, about 10 people. And so what I would say is, you know, if residents, folks in their individual neighborhoods want to see significant change in the city of Burlington when it comes to walking and biking, this is a great place to come. This is a great place to be an advocate, to get involved, to have your voice heard. For lack of a better term, don't be a keyboard warrior. You know, come and get involved. Come to meetings and engage with city staff. Engage with city councilors. We have 3 city councilors here tonight, and they're talking to people. Councilor Sink, Councilor Becca Brown McKnight, they're walking around, they're talking to people. Director of Public Works, Chapin Spencer, is here, walking around, talking to folks. We're available, and you know, we want to hear from people. So, and there's a lot going on. So it's not just Plan BTV Walk Bike. We also have Plan BTV 2050. Hey, John, got Parks and Rec here. My fellow Minnesotan, what's going on, buddy?
I'm about to go take a photograph of all these bikes.
That's all right, get out of here. Parks and Rec is here, Burlington Parks, Rec, and Waterfront. So there's a lot going on. Plan BTV Mobility, that's happening. It's an update to the transportation plan. That's we haven't done an update to the transportation plan since 2011, 2026. So it's been a while. Yeah, good meeting.
Hi there, my name is Gordon Dragoon. I'm the chair of the Walk Bike Council. Here we have 2 stations, one in which I'm just trying to get folks information on how the Walk Bike Council can continue to advocate for them and when our meetings are, and try to sign people up for our mailing list so we can continue to share events like these with them. Over here we have some information on the recent tragedy that happened at Locust on Pine to Shiloh Scalca. For those that are listening, we will have a ghost bike installation next Wednesday, and there is a memorial fund that has been set up by the family. I'll hand it off here to the Neighborhood Planning Association.
Hi there, my name's Anya,
And I'm Nate Lantieri.
and we're here with the Ward 5 Neighborhood Planning Assembly, or NPA. So we're just collecting emails, getting some information out. We meet on the third Thursday of every month, so our upcoming meeting is going to be like an Oakledge kind of community dinner. We're going to do some budgeting information. It's on August 20th.
Yep, 20th.
So come join us there. You can also visit our website at npa5.org to get more information. But really the goal is to provide people an opportunity to connect with kind of like city officials in a smaller way. If you ever have any things that you want to look into or implement in your area, we're the south end. So you can come to us. We'll connect you with resources and help you figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, I think the Neighborhood Planning Assembly is a really exciting potential way for people to do some civic engagement in Burlington. It's one of the more unique bodies that exists. It's really, the whole goal is for neighborhood empowerment and for some people power to grow. So this year, as we're starting to plan things out, we really want to try to find some unique and interesting ways to do that civic engagement and provide people some opportunities to plug in ways that feels meaningful to them, it's empowering, and it's bringing people together. There's a lot of challenges out there, and we're not going to be able to solve all of them, but if we bring people together, we can start to find some collective solutions. So Neighborhood Planning Assembly is perfect for that. I hope you all are able to join, whether it's our neighborhoods event on the 20th at Oakledge or just our local Neighborhood Planning Assembly. It's a great way to get plugged in Burlington.
I am Becca Brown McKnight, and I am the Ward 6 City Councilor. I'm here at the DPW headquarters for the South End Walk Bike Council meeting, which is the first in a series of new meetings that's kicking off all over the city to help gather input and insights from people who are on the ground, literally walking and biking around the city, and to see how we can make it better and increase the number of people in Burlington who choose active transportation as their primary mode, or just help make people feel safer while they're doing it. And it's been really interesting looking around the room. There's a lot of interactive information and displays, and a couple themes I'm seeing that I think would help people choose their bike more often in the South End are, of course, increased safety. Bikers always want to have a dedicated bike lane where they feel safe from cars, whether that's through paint striping or physical barriers. And then the other big theme in the room is all about the ease and the smoothness of making your way to from point A to point B. So some folks have commented on the lack of crossings on Shelburne Road and little spots here and there in the city where it's either really hard to make a left turn or where there maybe used to be a cut through on a walking path that has been removed, so you have to go a whole separate way. So it'll be really interesting to take that feedback from the maps and see how we can implement it in reality out on our city streets.
About how you throughout the district, what they look for. Do you walk? Do you bike? Do you drive? What changes does the city make that we're able to anything like that? We coalesced and tried to bring it to the city council as part of the display on that list. So we'll get there. That's a good question. There are folks with that is Chief Spencer, the director.
What's the weekend after?
I'm Jason Stuffel, and I'm with the Burlington Walk Bike Council. And the station I have today is called Design Your Street. And so this is about re-envisioning how a street could look. So picking some sort of road in the south end, measuring the distance from the back of the sidewalk to the other back of the sidewalk, and figuring out what features you want to put in there, what trade-offs you have to make to do that. I've been talking with a lot of the people coming over here, and a street of particular interest is Shelburne Street. It's very wide at 65 feet for essentially the right-of-way. And now with the Champlain Parkway, it may not need 4 lanes of traffic anymore. And so if you start reducing that down to 3 or 2 lanes of traffic, how would you design all the rest of that space? And had a number of people give me interesting suggestions on how they would put the sidewalks, how they would put bike lanes, how they would want to have the crossings work. And so it's just really to get you to think about if you started from scratch and redid one of the roads in the South End, how would you have it look, and what considerations did you take into account? And so this is our first district-wide event that we're doing. We'll be doing in the other 3 Burlington districts, and really great turnout tonight. It's a little hard to hear sometimes because there's so many people talking in the background, and excited to do this more and hear all the feedback from the local residents. So in general, I heard some new ideas that I didn't think of, but most people here, of course, it being a walk-bike council, are very focused on adding more walk-bike features to their roads. And so things I've heard from other people are generally in line with what I think. But I don't live in the South End, and so it's very interesting to hear from the people that live here very specific things that they encounter on a much regular basis, where I'm an occasional person who goes through here. They're doing it every day. So definitely learning a lot from what people are giving me for feedback.
Hi, I'm Chris Damiani, Director of Planning at Green Mountain Transit. We're here at the South End Transportation Forum. We've been listening and talking to residents about different bus stop amenities that they'd like to see around our service. They also, a lot of folks have been talking about connections to both downtown in Burlington from the South End as well as to other communities. So we're really here just trying to listen from folks and hear about service that folks want to see from GMT in Burlington.
This is Buddy Singh, South District Burlington City Councilor. I'm here at the Walk Bike Council South End Community Engagement event. It's been an excellent event with an unbelievable turnout, and what's even better is the engagement from the residents and all the bikers and people that use all of our transit systems in the city. Everybody's looking at maps, talking about the way they bike or walk or ride or use transit to get to places in the city. It is a great visioning process for this city. You know, as we look to the C-Corp development and development here in the South End, as we talk about neighborhood code and neighborhood infill, how we get around it's such an important part of that planning process, and having the community engage and talk about where they would bike, where they would walk, what would make it easier to get on the bus, to ride the bus, take my bike and then get on the bus, or all these types of things. And these are the type of questions that people are being asked and are being engaged in. These are actual people who actually use these modes of transit. It's really great to see all these modes and all these people in one place envisioning what this city can be. And this type of process is the type of community engagement that I encourage everybody in Burlington to be a part of, because this is going to shape the way we walk, bike, use transit in this city from now and from when our kids get older. So I really encourage you to take part in an unbelievable event put on by the Walk Bike Council. So I really encourage you to, when they come to your neighborhood, take a look and talk to your neighbors and talk to the people here.
My name is Jack Evans, and I am here at the South End Walk Bike Forum. And in front of me right here is one of the 3 maps that community members have been putting notes down on, drawing on, marking up about their experiences and what they want to see in their neighborhood. There's a lot of notes here, and it's going to take a while to go through all of them, but there's a few huge trends that you can see just jumping out immediately. One of them is that we need new protected infrastructure north-south along Shelburne, along Union and Winooski. There's a lot of concern about Locust Street and children being able to get from the Five Sisters to the park and to Champlain Elementary. And there's a lot of concern just about the speed of traffic coming off of Champlain Parkway and the highway going onto neighborhood streets.
I'm gonna ride down like Willow Street.
You can't bike up Cliff Street.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Like all these things make me so much.
Yeah, I get you.
So anyway, I got here. I'm like, I gotta go.
Hey, we appreciate it, and I don't know if it's been said, we meet the first Wednesday of every month, also right here.
Yeah.
And to see you around.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
No,
neighborhood.
I love it. But it's funny, my boyfriend is living in Burlington for like 15 years.
Oh, nice.
And he's like, he is.
Did you guys meet in Chicago?
No, we met in New Hampshire. It's a long story.
Okay.
But no, he works at UV. He's one of the psych residents.
Okay.
Or attendings. And I'm like, I should bike from our house to UVM. It's like a 10-minute ride, if that. He's like, I'm too nervous. He's like, I'm like, this is terrible.
It's a real thing. I live down on New North End, in the New North End. I don't know if you ever had a chance to visit.
Oh, yeah.
But my wife won't bike on North Ave because like there's cars right there,
Yeah.
and like I've been cut off while it was snowing, and like it's. I understand the hesitation when it's not a protected lane.
I totally get it, but I'm like, this is frustrating.
I know.
Like, you are now driving. He's literally driving.
Yeah.
The 5 minutes to UVM. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You should have a bike.
Yeah.